this is so exciting. Okay, so this is a world that South African children have not necessarily had their fingers in the pie just yet. We're talking about animation, and our guest is Thandi Mlauli, who is the founder of Studio Yezi, an Afro animation studio. She is, of course, also the first black woman to launch an independent animation studio in South Africa. She's taking up space and cementing her position in an industry that, I mean, Thandi, is male dominated, is Caucasian dominated, is maybe Asian dominated, and yet here you are. Congratulations on all your success so far.
Thank you, I really appreciate that.
Okay, so hang on, so how do you go from Gugulethu to the New York Film Academy? How did that whole kind of foray into studying animation come about?
So actually, like, I was really just passionate about anime. I love Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z back in the day.
And I mean, they all run like this. What was that one?
But I was just fascinated with the animation style. And so I convinced my mom. My mom is one of those people who's like, you have to go to school, you have to finish, your degree is your passport to life. And so I convinced her. I was like, I want to go to the New York Film Academy. I want to study producing. And she allowed me because it was the business of filmmaking. So it made sense to her.
It's a BFA, right?
Yes. Yeah. And so I learned how to produce and budget and put everything together. And that's sort of what I took. And then I took my passion for animation and I studied animation separately. Okay, this is how we put it together in this medium. So I studied live action. And then I transitioned into animation just because I was passionate about it.
Wow, that's really, really fascinating. Okay, so the decision then to come back home and not only come back home, but create your own thing at home. What was the passion behind that?
I felt like I wanted to take resources from America and bring them here.
Yeah.
And at first I was bummed out because I was like, I didn't have money, I didn't have what I thought were resources, but I had skills.
Yes.
I had people and connections, and I was like, okay, that's what we're gonna use. Let's try and get those people together. Let's put people in place. Let me tell them about my ideas and let's see if it resonates. If it resonates, let's go.
Yeah.
So I was really just working intuitively and figuring it out.
Yes.
But I really wanted to come home. That was really, really important to me because it doesn't make sense to try and take up space in America and then at home there's nothing happening.
Sure.
So I was like, let me scope out the industry over here. Let me see what's happening, where I can position myself, and yeah, the rest is.
And we were just talking off air about my little brother who's an anime freak and he studied animation, and I just wonder, young black kids interested in animation, talented in animation, what's been your experience?
I feel like there is so much talent in South Africa, so much talent, but what we don't have resources to go to school for a lot of people, and if they do go to school, there's no opportunities when they leave.
Wow.
Or if there are opportunities, they're not leadership roles, there's no black kids directing and producing and doing that stuff. They're usually first team, second team, sort of cleaning up animation if they're in the teams. So I think that's the work that we're trying to do now, is to expand that and to create more just availability for those kids as well.
That's quite incredible. So tell us about Solar. It's the Afro anime, which is a passion project of yours. What's the story there?
So Solar is about a young girl, young magician who lives in a world where magic is deadly and dangerous.
Yes, yes, Solar.
So she's being hunted by these magician hunters, and so she has to learn how to use her magic. She goes off to this boarding school where she gets to learn how to use her magic. And so for me, that story is really about how sometimes we want to hide our magic because we think it's dangerous, but we need it to survive. And so that's sort of the story that I wanted to tell to the people.
I love that so much. I love that so much. I'm so inspired by that. I get goosebumps. And then your team working on that. Maybe you can give people who aren't aware, right? Yeah. Putting an anime or something like this together, it's not like filming a movie where you can do it in a weekend, right?
No.
Tell me some of those layers that go into putting a project like this together.
Well, it starts off with casting. We have to get the right voices, and that was something that we wanted to make sure that we brought new talent in as well.
Beautiful.
So we have Karabon Tweng, who's a known young lady in the industry, but everyone else is new.
Stunning.
So we're like, okay, we had to bring them in. We had to rehearse for about 8 weeks.
Okay.
Just for the short. And then there was also bringing in sound design. This is before we even get to animation. It was just how do we hear the story? Can the story translate if you can't see it? And then it was like, okay, let's bring the directors together, let's storyboard, and then there's layout. There's so many layers to just putting that visual together. It's intensive.
It's intense, and that's why our favorite films will come out, 5 years, or Pixar will create something that will come out so many years from now. That's beautiful.
Resilience. You need so much tenacity and resilience to finish a project, an animated project in particular.
What does it feel like, or what does it mean to you to be the first Black female in the animation space on your level? What does that feel like?
It's intimidating.
Okay.
It is intimidating, but it's also exciting. And I mean, I'm one of many Black women in the industry.
Yes.
But in terms of the type of space I'm taking up, it's so unique and so, it's daunting sometimes. But I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited about the opportunities that it's going to bring to more people as well.
What would you like to say to anyone who's interested in animation, maybe has to go convince the parents first to go study it, or, maybe feels that the opportunities might not exist? What would you say to them?
Find the space that you want to occupy.
Okay.
Because it's not just animating. You can be in post-production, you can be editing sound, you can be writing the stories themselves, you can be in the writer's room. We're creating a writer's room right now.
Brilliant.
And so we're putting Black writers together to bring the story to life. So I think it's really about what part of storytelling are you really, really interested in? Really hone in on that, because I feel like that's going to open up that unique path for you specifically.
Brilliant. Well, we can't wait to see more and more and more of the Afro animation studio, Studio Yezi. Thank you very much, Thandi Mlauli, for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll take a quick break. It's the morning show on E!
McCafe.